everybody! This week on Ask Cristen, I'm talking about painful orgasms, and while that might sound like an oxymoron, oh, they are real. So this week's Ask Cristen question is coming from Jessica Anderson 9, who wants to know, I have a really embarrassing question. I often have multiple orgasms. This does not sound embarrassing so far, by the way, Jessica. There's usually about a 10-second gap in between about 15 in a row. These last at least 23 seconds each. Whoa. And I can get them out of the blue. This can leave me in a bit of discomfort. Is this normal? First up, a quick differentiation. In this video, I'm gonna focus in on the spontaneity plus pain issue rather than talking about painful orgasms in general, which is a penis and vagina inclusive video that I would be totally happy to make in the future if y'all want it. I wanna talk a little bit about this embarrassment factor. Before you do anything else, I want you to treat your body like a friend. If your friend was experiencing pain, you probably wouldn't be like, that is so embarrassing. You would probably, in a very kind and gentle way, figure out the best way that you could help. That's how you need to think of your body. After you've paid attention to the symptoms, I mean, it sounds like you kind of know what the pattern is. I would absolutely definitely consider talking to a doctor or nurse practitioner. And let me bring up the embarrassment factor again. If you go to said doctor or nurse practitioner and describe what's happening, and he or she makes you feel embarrassed or slut shames you in any kind of way, get out. Do not internalize all of that nonsense. Get out. Find another doctor. As for whether spontaneous orgasms are normal, they absolutely happen. I'm gonna talk about my vagina for a second. I went jogging last week, and this normally doesn't happen. After I finished jogging, I was kind of, like walking it off, and I had the sensation of being on the verge of an orgasm for like an hour. When your body feels that way for long enough, any kind of pleasurable sensation quickly gives way to pain. But considering the frequency of these multiple spontaneous orgasms and the pain associated with it, it reminded me of maybe a mild case of what's called persistent genital arousal disorder. For really intense cases of it, women are completely debilitated. They are having upwards of 100 orgasms a day. They can't use tampons, they can't ride in bumpy trains, they can't even wear high heels because it shifts the pelvis in such a way that it sets off this nerve sensation that is in no way what we think of when we think of orgasmic. And because it's relatively new in the medical literature, doctors still aren't entirely sure what causes it, although they have identified all sorts of possibilities. It's also worth noting too that the age of onset totally varies. There are some women who experience it their whole lives and some who don't get it until after menopause. But aside from going to see a medical professional, which again, I recommend, there are some things at home that you can try out which are just good for you in general. Practicing mindfulness, up your cardiovascular exercise. And when it's happening, just generally distracting yourself has been shown in pretty much every first-person account of this that I have read to be extremely effective. You are not alone, you're not a weirdo. Our bodies just have minds of their own sometimes. But now, dear viewers, I wanna know if you've ever experienced this. Does this sound at all familiar to you? Or are you able to reach an orgasm without any kind of stimulation? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and also keep it clean, please. Thanks to everybody who watched and commented on last week's Ask Cristen video, How to Stop Sex Guilt. Rain Panda said, me and my husband were just super honest with everything, AKA everything, all caps, I did before that I truly felt ashamed about. And I was able to realize how I can truly trust my husband completely. Feeling comfortable with myself and my husband made a huge difference because I realized it's no one else's business but ours. Sina said, it's worth noting that some of the shaming that's directed toward women is so strong that it leaks into some men's minds too, especially if the kinds of sex acts they're into are considered feminine. I know firsthand because I like bottoming, but it's hard to get rid of the shame. And as always, ask me your questions so I can give you some answers and some possibly stories that you didn't really want to know about me and my vagina.